Good morning. Happy Monday, everyone. It's me, the BBK, and welcome back to the Boss's Playhouse. Oh, honey, busy, busy, busy. Oh, I've had a very busy weekend. I have been very consumed in editing this video, which I've told you guys takes a lot of time. And Tommy is back in Ghost Book. We'll get into it right after the intro. Hey, hey, welcome back to the Boss's Lounge. And we started off in a playhouse, but I think we better move it to the lounge because this may be a little sensitive for some. So, if you don't know, let me just give you an update. Minnesota has passed the bill um, or law that no knock warrants are good to go and in effect, and that is very, very unfortunate because we lost Breonna Taylor to a no knock warrant, right? And now we've just recently lost this woman's kid. What was his name? Osir. We just lost this woman's child due to a no knock warrant. He was as most people are, at home in the bed, sleep. He wasn't in the bed, he was actually on the couch and he was entangled in covers. But they took the key, they opened the door, they went in screaming and yelling, waking him up out of his sleep. And as he's diving back under his covers, they take him out. So, Minnesota, I think, is the state that is doing these no knocks so far. That seems to be the thing of the day for the police in Minnesota. And I'm sure this is going around. I heard that Texas was talking about it. They're in talks about the no knock warrants. There is nothing good whatsoever that can come from a no knock warrant unless you are the DEA. There is nothing good. First of all, when you run up into somebody's house, good morning again, Love Blake. Thank you so much for coming, my love. When you run up in somebody's house in the middle of the night, first of all, they're very unexpected, which is the intention of a no knock, is to catch you off guard, unexpected. And it puts the police in a position that hopefully, there cannot be any return fire, if you will. Good morning, Boss King. What's going on, Anthony McNeil? Thank you, my love, for coming in. Um, but no knock warrants for people who are not your intended people. Those are not the people you're looking for. You're taking out innocent lives. You're taking innocent lives. I can see no good coming from a no knock warrant because so far the two or three, because I believe there was a third person where they had a no knock warrant, um and that person ended up dead. And I cannot remember who and it was another man, except it was a grown man. We had a grown woman, Breonna Taylor. We have this Osir gentleman that just passed, and there's a lot of buzz going on around his loss of life. And there was another person before Breonna Taylor. You catch a person off guard, they're unsuspecting, and each time, in each situation, each case, the person that they took out, that they killed, was not even the person they was looking for. So I can see no benefit, no nothing good coming from these no knocks. I just can't see it. I can't see it. because the first thing you have to do is your due diligence and make sure that you're at the right home, that you're going in the right door, and that is the home and or the door of the person that you're looking for. If you cannot be absolutely certain that the person you're looking for is on the other side of that door, how you gonna do a no knock? I don't care if it's 2 in the morning, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. And then you want to be all up in arms because you're starting to have more loss of life for the boys in blue. But how are we supposed to feel when our rights are being violated? Our constitutional rights are being violated. Our lives are being taken. And all you can say is, oops, I'm sorry, wrong door, wrong house, wrong person. There is nothing, no amount of money you could give me at the end of the day that will pay for the loss of life. No life is there's no amount of money worth life. Yes, it makes your future living a little easier for you, but for a parent or a spouse to lose their child in that manner, just like a kid, they could be emotionally scarred for the rest of their life. They could become mentally rearranged, if you will. I really, I don't like where this is going. And it's not funny. It's interesting that all of the laws and the bills that they are working on, that they are putting into play, that they're trying to put into play, are of no advantage to us, to civilians whatsoever. None whatsoever. Look at what they're doing with the illegal immigrants. They're pushing them up to the front of the line for government assistance. I don't need government assistance, but there are people out here that do need government assistance, and they're having to wait in line to get that assistance. But then you got these people, and I can't even say just coming over. You're bringing these people over across the border into our nation and giving them more love than you give the residents of your own country. Did you forget that the people that live here, your residents, are the ones that voted you in? Those same people are the ones that voted you in thinking that you would do so much for them and you would be so beneficial to them. But you know what? In a way, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that the people are seeing how you treating them. The people that put you in office. It's a good thing that they're seeing it. Because maybe if they can see and understand what you're not doing for them, then they can see and understand a little bit better how Barack, there were a lot of things Barack did not do for us. I know I used to love him. I cherished him. I would fight for him, honey. I would go tongue bat for him because I didn't know any better back then. But the reality of it is, what he gave you, Obamacare and some free phones. People have no idea what he did in the background. And he really didn't do much for us. But what he didn't do was he didn't bring people over the border that we know about and give them front of the line, top notch attention, like this one here is doing, like Bin Laden is doing. I really was having a difficult time even understanding why it was such an issue to be a thing. No knock warrants. You've been taken out. If you were taking out the people you were aiming for, then I could see you doing having no knock warrants. I could see it. If when you kick those doors down or when you walk into those doors, and here's the thing, you're doing your due diligence and taking the time to go and get the key from the super. You guys are putting in the paperwork and the work to get the keys from the landlords or the managers of the properties. You guys are using the keys to open it. Y'all ain't just kicking in doors. Now, y'all kicked them in on Breonna Taylor. But on this little boy that y'all killed laying on the couch in the covers, y'all didn't even kick the doors in on him. Y'all used a key and unlocked the door and tipped in on him and start yelling and screaming. And as he was jumping back up under the covers because he didn't know what was going on in the middle of the night, y'all proceeded to take him out. If you guys was taking out the people that y'all was looking for, if y'all was taking out the people that y'all had a warrant on, if y'all were actually hitting your mark, then I could see that becoming a thing. But you're not hitting your mark. You failed at least 3 times. And you're using failed missions to justify future failed missions. It's very unfortunate. And if people sit back and look at what our legislature is doing, how they're working against us, I would hope when the time comes, they do the right thing, because it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. And that is one of the reasons why so many people are doing all they can to bring awareness, right? They've declassified just about all of the you know, everything that was classified information has now been declassified and given out for the world to ponder and go through. And that is what people are doing. They're going through all of those documents. They're finding out information. They're analyzing it. They're putting it together and trying to bring it back to you. But once they've decided to censor you, you got to get it to the people the best way you can. And I'm one of those little people that's trying to get it to y'all the best way we can. You really, really, really have to be careful. And when I say be careful, unfortunately, if you got a child, a brother, a sibling, a friend that is involved in something or has been into some trouble, and could have the boys in blue looking for him, baby, you got to keep your kids protected. You need to keep yourself protected. And no knock warrants will start to cause people to do modifications to their door. Not because they have anything to hide, not because, they're trying to keep anybody out, but to make it a little bit harder for you to be murdered in your sleep in the middle of the night. And I mean, yeah, I guess you could, modify your door. That wouldn't stop them from coming in the window. Again, look at what happened to Breonna Taylor. So it is very unfortunate. And I saw this morning that they are having panels. The newscast people, the news journalists and people in legislatures and whatnot, they're doing panels this morning talking about this little boy's murder, because that's what it was. It was murder. And don't nobody want to hear nothing about people going to court, to fight it and to sue. And then at the end of the court date, you end up giving them 30 or $40 million. That will not bring that woman's child back. It won't bring him back. Now, if you were giving out, hundreds of millions of dollars, and you were taking the lives of the officer that took his life, it might make me feel a little better, because then their family understands loss of life, unnecessary loss of life by accident. And let's not forget, Minnesota was one of the states they were trying to defund the police. Yeah. Now somehow the police were somehow somewhat defunded in Seattle. And how did we find it out? Accidental loss of life. What was it? I don't think it was a no knock warrant, but we found out accidental life in Seattle, that their police departments had been defunded. And Seattle is kind of, it's kind of starting to turn up a little bit. Minnesota is where was Minnesota? Yeah, Minnesota was where George Floyd died, right? So now they starting to turn up, because I do believe that this was another Minnesota person that a no knock took their life. And for what? Each time they run up in somebody's house in the middle of the night and start shooting, it's never the person they was looking for. Yet our government felt the need to say, you know what? Yes, let's go ahead and pass these no knock warrants. Let's let them go ahead and handle their warrants as though they were successful in capturing, you know, mob cartel and mob bosses and kingpins. You've only been successful in taking the lives of African Americans. And then you wonder why people want to strip you guys of power. It's not so that they can run rampant, looting and destroying property and protesting. That's not why. That's so that if it is loss of life going forward, it's very cut and dry that it was loss of life because somebody was protecting their life. They were defending themselves. They were defending their property. Not because you got a search warrant and had the wrong number on the address. And that's something else that I have a problem with. If your police department has more mistakes in a 3-month period than they've had quality information, then that to me, that's all the more reason not to approve a no-knock warrant, because they're trying to regulate them. They're trying to make them a normal part of our lives, and it shouldn't be. When I look at no-knock warrants becoming a normal part of our lives, it makes me feel like retaliation. You know what I'm saying? Like a consequence. Like, for instance, you're not eating the applesauce. You're not eating it quick enough. We keep putting out bug after bug after bug after bug, and y'all are not running down to the clinics and eating the applesauce. So since we can't get rid of you one way, we'll take you out the next. That's just the way it feels to me. And I could be way off track. I see them at Guantanamo Bay having these tribunals and executing these people. But it seems like the more people that I'm monitoring that are being executed or getting taken out at Guantanamo Bay, I'm seeing more and more body doubles start to sprout up in Hollywood. I don't understand. If you're going to let the transcripts and those trials, those military tribunals, if you're going to end up letting that information out to the people so that they can understand what happened, why those people were arrested, why they went to court, why they were executed, then I don't understand the purpose of putting together a body double or a clone to replace them. Are you replacing their mode of thinking? Are you just trying to keep those power seats full with people that the world knows? Because it does you no good to tell me that, you executed Bin Laden, and then you turn around and put a clone or a body double out here and act like, you know, we still got the chief commander in chief. Like what purpose? That doesn't make sense to me. And I'm still trying to figure it out. And it seems like the more and more I read in the underground, it seems like the deeper I dig in the underground, the more confused I'm starting to get. So I've been trying to save some of my energy and some of my confusion. I've been trying to kind of preserve it. I read and study a little bit and I dig a little bit in the underground, but then when I start to get confused and it doesn't make sense, I just politely pull out. I pull out. I just pull back. It's really a lot. It's a lot of stuff going on. And if you guys haven't been on my community wall, I put a potential body double on my community wall. Now, so far, the people have been guessing, thinking that it was Natalie, and I'm guessing they're thinking Natalie Nunn. That body double is Riri 2.0, my loves. Yeah, that's Rihanna 2.0. And where I found the picture, there was a side by side, and I guess I will put us do a side by side, and but I'm afraid to put that on the wall for the public over there. What I'll do is I'll make it a little quick, you know, 30-second or 45-second video, and I'll just put the faces side by side and bring it over here and put it on this page so that y'all can see how closely they resemble. And once they put makeup on her and a fresh, fluffy wig, then you all will be able to see the resemblance is so uncanny. Now, I found out the other day, I went to the grocery store, and one of the guys that brings my groceries to the car, he's very awake. And he was telling me that Ellen, right, Elon Musk, the producer of the Teslas, which I told you guys last week or two, he was taking time away from Teslas. They've had to do a recall on some Teslas, something. I think it was the cars are not stopping at the stop signs or something. They're doing like the California road. They pull up and then they just keep going. So they're concerned about the cars hitting pedestrians, right? Children especially. So Elon Musk they did the recall on the Teslas, and now he's more focused in the artificial intelligence, in the clones. And what the guy was showing me and trying to explain to me was the fact that they have found a way to perfect. Remember how I told y'all I can't wait to see the Jay-Z and the Beyonce clones, because I want to see if they're going to be able to mimic the dance moves that Beyonce performs, if they're going to be able to mimic her voice or mimic Jay-Z's voice and sound just like them, or are they going to be a fail? And this young man was telling me that they have been able to not only duplicate the voice box, the larynx, I think he was saying specifically, but that they're going to be able to recreate a lot of the dance moves that the entertainers and the rappers and whatnot of Hollywood, how they perform. He said, so you would not be able to tell the difference. So, and so as he was explaining this to me, the first thing that came across my mind is, does ASAP Rocky, can he tell the difference when he go to bed and he's sticking and moving, bobbing and weaving? When he's becoming entangled with his girlfriend, does he know whether or not that's a man or a woman? Does he know if that's really the woman that, you know, he fell in love with, that he's been friends with for years? I mean, listen, the information is very scary, very scary. Um, I told y'all about those explosions that I heard last week that woke me up out of my sleep. My neighbor was trying to tell us, oh, it's Chinese New Year. You're going to hear the fireworks and stuff. Well, I found out that those were not fireworks, that they were indeed explosions from the port. And it was a so-called training exercise by the military, and they were, jumping out of the helicopters, sliding down the ropes of the helicopters, and they were, having those little explosions. Now, I have some intel that says that they're still cleaning out dumbs, so it could have been a dumbs cleaning. But then there was intel that proposition that they're possibly looking for someone, that maybe somebody done slipped over here, and there's a chance that we could be in danger. So they were hitting up all of the ports with this so-called training exercise. And because our mainstream media never tell us the truth, they're always going to call a search, or when they're looking for somebody to take them out, or if they're, we got the enemy over on our yard, they always call it a training exercise to keep from telling us the truth. And that's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. So, yeah, yeah, a mess. hmm So, yeah, if you get a chance to sign a petition or have any input whatsoever on these new no knock warrants, I pray that you choose and vote against them, because they're not it for our benefit. And then, y'all, If anybody watches Power, oh my God. Oh my God. So Tariq's book ended and Tommy's book began. And I told y'all Tommy was gonna have a book. Them little scenes where he came in there to so-called try to kill Tasha, that wasn't a book. That was just a cameo. And I did rewatch it, Tommy's book again last night. And the blast from the past is Blanca from the feds. From the feds. She had zoned in on Sachs. So, she was doing her little bit of dirt, but she was put over on the DEA side, let's say. So yeah, she's back. Tasha is not back. Tasha just did a guest appearance so that her and Yasmin, they're done with Tasha and Yasmin. So the whole Tasha and Yasmin storyline is gone. They have reunited Yasmin with her mom, and Tasha and Yasmin will no longer be a part of Tariq's book going forward. And now we're about to watch Tommy's book. And when I tell you it was action packed, homeboy killed, whoop butt, bump butt, took butt, and oh my God. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. It's really good. So this was the first week of Tommy's book. And I like how what 50 and Courtney are doing with the show. I like how they're going to put them back to back, if that's the plan, because it seems like it is. Usually one book don't end and another one start. There's still usually that 3-6 month period before we see, another ghost book. But in this particular situation, they ended one book one night and started another book the same night. That was crazy. That was like a double feature. So anyway, I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about the no knock warrant. If you look up the Osir, I keep getting his name mixed up. The little black guy that was just murdered by the police from a no knock warrant. If you look on YouTube, there's a lot of newscasters on panels talking about it, and people are definitely giving their opinion that it is not beneficial for our health by any means. If y'all could please be so kind on your way out to give me a thumbs up or not, whichever way your spirit leads you, we would appreciate it. Remember, thumbs up or thumbs down is still still engagement, and we welcome it nonetheless. Shout out to all my bosses, my cave dwellers, my street runners, the replay gang, my members, supporters, subscribers, and allies. Y'all are thebomb.com. God loves you, and so do I. Y'all have a happy Monday, a blessed day, and stay safe.